And I'm so excited to be here today with you because there are some exciting things that are happening for everyone. So I really want to implore you to listen to this little get together that we're going to have with some incredible people. I know that some of you know who some of these people are. One of them is Mr. Dwayne Eddings. And I'm also going to be interviewing Edward Kenmore, if I say this correctly. And Dwayne has got a great project that we're going to be talking about in a minute. But first, I'm going to introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. I have a program called Pro Beamer, and I am all about helping people to beam their business and become successful and make your dreams come true through beaming messages to people's smartphones. Now, some of you already have a technology that you've latched onto, but what I want to do with people is help them to be able to continue to use the technology at all times, as our devices do some incredible things that others don't. So we will be sharing some of that with you as we go along, but today I really want to focus on what we're going to be beaming. And, you know, a lot of us need a good business opportunity that we can share with a lot of people. Well, I love my little devices because they can beam out, 250 feet to thousands of people within seconds, a message that is very relevant today. And today's message that we're going to be talking about is HLC Lifestyles. And that stands for Home Loans and Credit Repair. And I'm going to be introducing you to a gentleman who has founded this program, who is launching this program, and who wants you to know about it. But I'm going to interview him and ask him some key questions in your behalf that I think you'll find very interesting. So please listen up. So I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Dwayne Eddings. He's the founder of HLC Lifestyles. Dwayne, thanks so much for being with me today.
Hey, Nancie, it's my pleasure.
Great. Awesome. So I'm going to ask you some little questions here, but I'm going to have to put on my handy dandy glasses here. It tells your age when you have to do that. But anyway,
no problem.
Right now. All right. So first of all, Dwayne, I've got some questions I've written down here. What is your background and how long have you been involved in the wonderful world of real estate?
Well, Nancie, I started in real estate in the late 80s, actually with my buddy, who you're going to be talking to next. And I've been in real estate over 30 years. But as we both know, when the real estate market crashed in '08, it kind of forced me to look at some other things. That's why when I looked at that direct sales industry.
Yeah, you and everybody else, I'm sure. That was a terrible time back then. But, through things that happen that are challenging comes great opportunity. So congratulations on your success in real estate. So with all of that background, why today? Why are you interested, or why are you prompted to beginning a company called HLC Lifestyle Services?
Well, Lance, one thing I knew early on, coming out of the real estate market, that loan officers and realtors are always in need for leads. Oh, yeah. And when I was in the direct sales industry, every networker I know is always looking for that new product, that niche product that they can refer their friends and family to. So when I've looked at the two together, I said this was a no-brainer, and it's never been introduced before. So excited to be the first to bring it to the table.
Well, that's very exciting. But I'm going to ask you a question. You seem to have a good experience or knowledge of network marketing. So how many companies have you been involved with?
Great question, Nancie. In the direct sales industry, I've been involved with 3 companies, spent 10 years with one, been very fortunate to get to the top of each of one of them. And I'll tell you something, I feel like it's an opportunity to give something back. I have thousands of people that still follow me. And as we all know, everybody doesn't get to the top. But that now have a way that we can share with them and show them and give them a marketing tool that's going to allow them to earn some significant part-time income.
So why do you feel that this whole thing, this company that you put together is going to be something that both networkers and realtors and loan officers are going to be attracted to?
Well, let me tell you something, Nancie. Like I said earlier, everybody loves a good lead. And these leads, not some step-down lead. It's actually a lead it's a warm market. With network marketers, they're always referring their friends, their family, their moms, their dads, their immediate family, and it's a warm lead. So the loan officers and the realtors will definitely be able to appreciate that.
Okay. Well, obviously, you've got to have a great partner. So who have you partnered with to make this success happen?
Oh, it's funny you ask him. I have you introduce him, but a good friend of mine, we go back well over 30 years. When I first got involved in mortgage banking, I started out working for a company for a brief period and went into starting my own. and partnered up with this gentleman. Well, I mean, we're telling our age now, but well over 30 years, and it felt really good to reconnect back with him over the last few months to put this program together. That's no other than my good friend, Mr. Edward Kimure.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I have a personal question for you.
Sure.
Being that I'm connected with the ProBeamer platform, I'm just curious why you were attracted to the ProBeamers, and how do you feel that these ProBeamers are going to compensate the participants in your program?
Nancy, I'll tell you, great question. And, first of all, it was an honor meeting you. And, I believe that God, does things for a purpose. When we first met, was definitely purpose driven. And the ProBeamer product that you bring to the table gives an opportunity to have all of our networkers have their travel business or their real estate business or their credit repair business, in front of hundreds of people any given moment, shooting them notifications with their websites and giving them an opportunity to win without opening up their mouth.
Well, that's what I was excited about it too. So I'm excited that you're excited. So that's great. That's great. And I can't wait for everybody else to experience what we're experiencing. So I'm going to ask you a question because, when you have a great idea,
yes,
it's a good idea to practice your idea with trusted friends.
Yes.
So explain your beta testing of this process right now and, all of what you're doing right now.
Before one goes full live, full stream into the masses, they want to make sure that all the kinks is worked out.
Right.
And my good friend Edward Kimure, they're licensed in quite a few states, but we chose New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Florida, Maryland, and Pennsylvania as the initial beta testing, just to work all the kinks of the system. Now we're just bringing on our credit repair division. That will be nationwide out the gate, but we're only allowing a certain amount of people initially to be able to use the system, and then we'll go full-fledged.
I think that's very smart. I really do. And I think that those people will be thrilled to get the invitation. Yeah. But I'm going to ask you when they're going to ask you this question, okay? So
sure.
When do you feel that this program is going to be available nationwide?
Well, Nance, I'll tell you, I truly believe with everything in me, and Eddie's going to be able to answer that better when you get to him. We'll be nationwide out the gate with the credit repair. We'll be in 44 cities with the real estate. We'll be in about 12 cities initially with the loan program, but I really believe within the next 90 days before the end of the year, we'll be nationwide.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. Those are some great goals. So that's awesome. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't be able to launch that strong. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So here's another one. Will there be any future additions or additives to the program?
Yes. Real estate is a very, very complex business, as you know, and very, very diverse. And you know what? One thing I like to call this industry, Nancy, is relationship marketing. Think about this. It's all about the relationships that we develop in our lifetime. I truly believe that what a person does from the time he or she is born until the time that they pass away, that little dash will signify the type of person they were. And I'm telling you, over the last 30 years, I have been blessed to meet hundreds of people in so many relationships. So we're going to be launching a mediation program for folks that are in foreclosure, got great relationships with individuals that can help them save their home. We're really offering individuals the opportunity to learn how to flip houses. I made my first $1 million in my early 30s, Nancy, learning how to flip homes. And partnered up with some great guys that are doing that and bringing that to the tables, like Flip That House. And I'm going to be showing them exactly how to do it from A to Z, from nut to soup. And then giving them not only just showing how to flip the house, but also showing them how to have the realtor listed and get that end buyer as well.
Wow. And that's such valuable information for people.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who would love to be able to be involved in real estate in that way. So that's so exciting that you're going to offer all that. But I'm going to ask you a little tricky question. I don't know if you're going to want to answer this, but I've been hearing that you have been very quiet lately. And I know you're pretty visible on social media. And then all of a sudden, everybody's wondering why you're just like been quiet. So I'm going to ask if you would like to explain this quietness. And, so what's up?
Well, Nance, I'll tell you, I truly believe this. Sometimes life throws you lemons but you make lemonade out of it. I'm a God-fearing man. I know you're a God-fearing woman, so I know you can relate to this.
Yeah.
When what is meant to hurt you, what the devil used to hurt you, God takes that same tool to reverse it. And let me tell you what I know. I've been kind of quiet for a moment because you know what, I had some circumstances with previous companies. I'm not going to get into that, but I'm going to tell you something. All it did was prepare me for this moment. All it did was make me absolutely 100% focused on getting my own brand out there, which is HLC Lifestyles. So that's going to give us an opportunity to really, really make a huge, significant difference in the marketplace. And I'll tell you, Nancie, I'm excited about it. I'm truly, truly excited about what's getting ready to happen, not just for me and my family, what's going to happen for you and your family, my buddy Eddie, his family, and so many of thousands of people and followers that we have been blessed to follow us over the past 10 years.
Well, I'm very excited. I told you that I am a real estate wannabe person. I'm not a realtor, but I love real estate. I love everything about it. I'm the person that watches it all over TV all the time. And we do actually own some properties that we personally learned how to repair and do all the, we didn't learn all the tricks that you know. So I'm anxious to learn all these tricks, but I'm going to just thank you for answering these questions, but I'm going to give you a moment. Do you have any last comments that you want to say or anything, because I'm going to be introducing our next guest, but I just want to give you a chance to shout out if there's anything else you want to add to what we've been talking about.
Actually, Nance, you know what? Why don't we transition to Mr. Kimyor, and right before when you finish with him, we'll come back with a final thought.
Okay, all right. What would you like to introduce him? He's, I met him through you, but I'm going to talk about how I first met him. But you go ahead.
Sure. Well, let me tell you something. This gentleman has a heart of gold. As I stated earlier, when I first got into the direct sale, to the real estate game, I learned mortgage banking from this gentleman. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, but I didn't understand how mortgage banking worked. He took me under his wing. He taught me what to do, what not to do. We made a substantial amount of money together, but more importantly, we became great, great friends. We got the same type of background, same type of family style. I call him my brother from another mother. And that's no other than the vice president of Family First Funding and the CFO of HLC Lifestyles, Mr. Edward Kimyor.
I met Ed accidentally at the counter in San Diego at a hotel, and we had a few moments to just say hello, where we were from, and had a great conversation. And I was so impressed with him. I mean, I wanted his business card for the future because I knew he was somebody that I would need to know someday. I had no idea that he was a part of what I was going to be doing in the future. No idea whatsoever. An hour later, I come down to meet Dwayne for the first time, and there is Ed standing right next to him. And I was like, oh my goodness. So
kind of like fate, huh?
It was so crazy. So I'm so excited to get to work with you and get to learn from you. And you just are a great guy, and you and your wife are tremendous. And I'm so excited. So I'm going to ask you some questions, if that's okay, that I have written down.
Absolutely.
Here. Is that okay with you? All right.
Sure.
So the first question is, how long have you been involved with the mortgage banking industry?
Wow. I have been in the mortgage banking industry for over 35 years.
Okay.
In finance, probably 36, and then in mortgage banking 1 year after that. In all that time, I've learned that this business changes from day to day, week to week, and year to year, and it is a challenge to stay on top of it. But what I do love is that with all the changes is innovation, and the innovation just fuels the entrepreneurial spirit in me. So I'm looking forward to the next 5 or 10 years. But yeah, it's been a while, 35 years.
Yeah, I guess you got this thing down. So what states are you actually licensed in? You have Family First Funding.
Yes.
Where are you guys licensed?
All right, we're currently licensed predominantly in the Northeast: Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Connecticut, Massachusetts is just about to come on board. Maryland, Virginia, and DC are all in phases of either on board or just signing off on the papers. And we're also looking at California, Missouri's on board, Texas, and a couple of other states in the Midwest. So we're growing rather rapidly. This has been Inc.'s one of the top growing mortgage companies in the nation, and definitely in the state of New Jersey. We're just growing by leaps and bounds.
Well, one of the things that when I was out there, I got to sit down with you guys, and I really was learning from you about what qualified leads are, what that means to a realtor, what that means to a loan officer. And, could you explain that whole world of what is a qualified lead and
Sure.
why it's important?
Many times, and I'll step back on that question for a second, because
Okay.
there's a lot of advertising. You've
Right.
got companies that are advertising, fill in the blanks and we'll get you approved in 1 second, press the button, there you go. And I don't want to say names, but predominantly, if you're not speaking to an experienced loan officer who's actually gathering the information, and I'll use an example. You ask a self-employed entrepreneur such as yourself, Dwayne, and a number of other people, how much do you make? And they give you a number. Well, that number is usually based on what their business does. They don't realize the number that actually qualifies you is the number you claim personally and pay taxes on. So that very much so connotates what it takes to be a qualified lead. We take a look at what you're looking to do, whether it's purchase or refinance. We get the real information, and in cases where we know you're going to need tax returns and things like that, we'll actually look at those documents to give you a real secure feeling that, hey, I can move forward with confidence on whether I want to refinance or purchase a new property. So that to us is it's a person or an entity that we've looked at their income, their assets, their credit, and we've said, yeah, this deal can go. Now, what do you want to do?
That's so interesting, because with technology today, I mean, everybody says they love the online stuff, but at the end of the day, they want to talk to somebody. So
Absolutely.
I get
Absolutely.
I
I feel, what's really cool about being online and having tools like we're using now, where 3 of us are sitting in 3 different states in 3 different locations, and we're actually recording and displaying this information. You can still be personal with people. People just don't want to put information in. They like it at first, but when it doesn't work, they would have been happier to know that they could speak to someone online, in person, face to face, so that we can move forward confidently.
That makes so much sense. So how long does it take to process a loan from lead to close?
Okay, I will break that down real quickly in a couple of quick steps. A lead can be pre-qualified rather quickly. The more information that you can get from the individual, being the potential buyer or refinancer, will dictate how quickly that would be. But if I was to talk to you right now and I said, look, based on the conversation, send me this, this, and this, by the time I look at it, whether it's that day or the next day, we can say confidently, you're qualified. We would have looked at your credit, we would have looked at your assets, we would have looked at your income and said, yeah, we can move forward. Now, once you get to that spot, let's just say you've already had a home that you were looking to buy and you were in contract, we can actually start an application immediately. You can sign it online, and then we would be asking for whatever additional documents is needed. So now to take you from application to close, we've done them, I personally have done them, and my team have done them in less than 30 days. But depending on the case, depending on the parameters of the sale, and depending on you, the borrower, it could take up to 60 days. But normally, we're in and out 30, 35, 40 days tops. So it really is a hand-in-hand relationship.
And that's probably because you actually are working with folks and helping them to do the right things, isn't it?
Exactly. And in our case, the loan officer stays hand-in-hand with the borrower, where in many cases, you just get handed off to somebody else.
Well, and I know in my case, I was trying to work on something once, and the people I were handed off to were way overseas in another country on a different time zone.
I will assure you that everyone at Family First Funding lives and works here in the U.S.
Oh, that's huge, because we're buying our home here in the U.S. It really would be nice to talk to somebody who at least understands what state we live in.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
what we're
That's
doing.
key.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100% that based on my experience. So, all right, so I've got a good question. It says, how would this program benefit licensed loan officers from other companies that join the program for leads?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a very good question. There are 2 aspects of this. So if you are part of this network community and you're part of this group and you're a licensed loan officer, you have one of 2 ways to be involved in the organization. So one, and probably the least likely way, but one way you would be is you would actually be involved in helping people get their financing as part of the leads. When people apply, put the information in, need to be pre-qualified, you would be involved in that specifically. Now, because of the very tight regulations and the quality controls we put on it, how quickly we want to get back to that individual, how quickly we want to have our answers. That may be not the easiest route to get involved, but it is definitely a good route. I want to make sure that the people handling those leads know what they're doing, know what they're saying, and get back to people on time. But the next one is very, very good, but it's a little tricky. And what we do is, let's just say a borrower came in and put in their information, and we've gotten them pre-approved. We told them you can qualify to buy this house. What we would then do is work with our licensed loan officers in the field and say, hey, Bob, you live in Tallahassee, Florida. We've got a borrower that wants to buy a house in your area. Okay. Why don't you take this lead to your favorite realtor or realtor you've been trying to do business with, and instead of being in this business where everyone asks for something, you ask a realtor or an attorney for business, how about walking into that office and saying, I have a borrower that's already qualified, ready to go, here's a certificate, you sell them a house, and can we do more business together? So those are two of the ways we can make this work for licensed loan officers around the country that are involved in our program.
Wow, that's very different. That's a whole different spin on the whole thing. I mean, that's great.
The old joke in the business is, did you go around with your bag of donuts today to give to the realtors or bagels? I would like to go around with a pocket full of leads and say, hey, why don't you sell this house and why don't you sell that house? Give and then you get.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. That's great. All right, so once beta testing is over, how do we process loans for states that you're not licensed in?
We are working on that diligently. We're growing rapidly, so we really don't want to turn this over to someone else before we know where we are in our process in those states. Okay. So initially, I'm gonna say that I'm in negotiations with a couple of different organizations that may be up to my liking and suiting that will work with us on the backside of getting things done in other states. So we're in the process of that. I don't want to give any names until we get it done, but once we see what the demographics are and where the strength is in the leads, then we'll actually put all that together and finalize it.
Okay, great, great. Well, with your experience, I'm sure everyone will be in great hands. So
I'm going to work hard to get it done.
Yep, awesome. Okay, so this, am I correct here? This is the first time ever that real estate has been introduced to the direct sales market. Why do you think that could be successful?
Well, I thought about that myself. And, you know, we just talked about that briefly with technology today. Technology in the real estate business has been both a boom and a curse. And I'll explain why. Real estate has always traditionally been the handshake. I'm going to meet you at the house. I'll pick you up. Let's drive around. It was very, very, very personable. But it was also very time consuming, hard, not hard work, but tedious work, because you were with that borrower and you had to make arrangements to go around to different houses. Today, I'm looking for new property, and I don't speak to anyone until I go online. I start researching what houses are where, what's in my price range, and then I get to look at them, pictures, and all. I don't have to go into the house. So all of a sudden, we've expanded everyone's marketplace. And in real estate, predominantly more so than mortgages, if you're licensed in a state, you can actually refer someone to another state and still derive an income. So the technology today has opened up the marketplace where you can actually do more work and still be personable, because we can do things like we are today, FaceTiming, face chatting, and doing these Zoom, interviews. So absolutely. I really think it's the time. Absolutely. It's the time to take that personal business and turn it into a nationwide business.
Well, and I can whisper a little secret to you with the Pro Beamers, because for realtors, a realtor could just go to a place, let's say a ball game where there's like thousands of people, take one of our Pro Beamers and beam one of the houses or several houses on their website that they have for sale. And when people are playing with their cell phones, up pops the link, looking to buy a cool house, and they can literally give people a tour of multiple houses from their website live while people are at a ball game playing with their phones, and learning all about that particular realtor. So combining all of this together is just phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. Absolutely. I have clients, and we've approved. I was at 3 houses last night and they were terrible. Imagine you look through them now on the computer, you get to see what has a little bedroom or it's got a nice backyard. And now you're really honing in what you want.
Right. That's fantastic. Well, I want to pull Dwayne back in a minute, but I just want to ask you, Ed, do you have any closing remarks? That's just something you'd like to share as we close this interview?
I thought you were talking to Eddie, but let me answer that. I do have a closing remark.
Okay.
So I want to say this. One thing I love, and as I said earlier, this business that we're in is all about relationships.
Right.
And HLC stands for Homes, Loans, and Credit Repair. Now, you've already heard from one of our affiliates, Mr. Edward Kimyor, seasoned mortgage banker, well over 30 years. We partnered with a cloud-based publicly trading company for our homes program. And we partnered with an Inc. 500 company for a credit repair company, for a credit repair product. So we are bringing some substantial products to the marketplace that everybody can make some money with and be very comfortable that the companies will be here tomorrow for them when they need them. That's my closing remark.
Well, thank you, sir. And I just want to thank both of you. Ed, I want to come back to you. Is there anything that you'd like to say in closing?
I just want to say it's a pleasure to work with Dwayne and with you, Nancy. You guys have been so professional in everything that we've put together. And I just look forward to helping all the people out there get the best, whether it's a home, whether it's keeping on top of your credit, or getting the financing you need to make it all work.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate you guys, both of you. I mean, I would not be on this call today or a part of this if I didn't totally trust both of you in your knowledge, your experience in many industries, not just one industry, and what you bring to the table. So I just want to thank you for inviting me to be a part of this knowledge that you're bringing to the table for everybody. And guys, I really hope this has been beneficial to you so you can see that there's something very, very big that is happening here. And if you are watching this, you're watching this not by accident, because you have been given access to this information for a reason. So please get back with Dwayne and Ed or myself. And if you have any questions, please let us know. But I think there's something very big that we need to pay attention to right now. So thanks so much, everybody, for being with us today.
Hey, Nance, one last thing.
Yes.
People can go to HLClifestyles.com to get some more information. There'll be a 24-hour number. They can get some information on the program. It's 877-575-9988. 877-575-9988. That's going to be able to give them some information on our homes, loans, and credit repair. And I'll tell you something, I look forward to working with both of you guys and really, really making a lot of people's dreams come true by going from rentership to ownership.